Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another Saturday Top 10, where today we're going to be counting down the top 10 best characters in Treyarch Zombies history. Now, this is going to be excluding the original four, Nikolai, Dempsey, Takiao, and Richtoff, and because obviously they are the top four. Like, there's no debate there. They are the best characters ever in Call of Duty Zombies, and also operators are not going to be included because operators suck, and they're not as good as having a set crew on Zombies maps. Also, next week we're going to be doing the top 10 best cutscenes, whether it's an intro, an outro, or anything like that. Comment your favorite one down below, and that'll be next week's top 10. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the top 10 characters in Call of Duty Zombies history.
You guys seeing this? I'm on fire! No, not like on fire, like lava. You guys remember that? That sucked.
Alright guys, so obviously Misty is coming in at the number 10 spot. She is a very interesting character, a tomboy in the Victus crew, and I think that her quotes are really iconic, especially on maps like Buried, for example. She has so many diverse and different quotes that you wouldn't really expect a girl to say, which I think adds a lot to her character in general. She works really well with all the other characters on the Victus maps, and I find her the most unique out of all of them, except for maybe Russman. So overall, she definitely deserves to be on the list, and she comes in at the number 10 spot.
I like to make a big entrance. Apparently, so does Pegasus.
Coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be Diego from the Chaos crew. Now, at first, on Voyage of Despair 9, I found him to be kind of annoying, a womanizer, and just like kind of a boring character in general. But as it grew on me more and more, and then on Ancient Evil, I really started to like Diego, especially after he basically saved Scarlet at the end of the Ancient Evil cutscene. And unfortunately, that is most likely the end of the Chaos storyline, which is really disappointing because Jason doesn't work there anymore, obviously. But I really started to warm up to Diego towards the end, and I really liked his character development, especially on Ancient Evil. So he became one of my favorite characters, and it kind of sucks that we'll never see what's to come for those guys.
Serving high tea in the ladies' garden club is as close as I've ever been to open warfare. Those women are vicious.
Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to be my favorite Chaos character of all of them, and that is the Butler, also known as Godfrey on Dead of the Night. Now, Dead of the Night is a very polarizing map. Some people love it, some people hate it, and it seems like the people that hate it are kind of just bandwagoning on their favorite content creators who also hate the map. I think Dead of the Night is actually a great map. I think the Easter eggs awesome and all that stuff, but Godfrey really is one of the most unique characters because of the quotes that he has on the map. He talks a ton about Alistair Rhodes and the things he does for him and all that sort of thing, and also he has a dark side as well. There's Dark Godfrey that also has different quotes on the map, and to turn out him being like the villain at the end of completing the Easter egg and he kills all the characters and then he himself dies, I think it's just kind of ironic for this character, and he really was my favorite. So whenever I play this map, I try to be Godfrey if possible, and it's just a great experience every single time. It's really cool that they got the guy from Game of Thrones. He plays the character so perfectly, and it's just a great experience every time.
I once busted a little weasel who tried to use one of these to blast open a bank safe. Dumbass nearly blew himself up.
Alright guys, coming in at the number 7 spot is going to be Jackie Vincent. Now, I'm not going to go out and swear because I'll probably get demonetized, but you guys know his most iconic quote without a doubt. Jackie V is definitely one of those characters that is definitely polarizing. You may get really annoyed by him repeating his name over and over, but he does add comic relief at certain points, which makes it a little bit more enjoyable as well. And I think he has some really funny quotes that are, you know, kind of iconic and just weird in a way that I think is really unique for him. There's a lot of characters that have funny quotes, but Jackie V's is like on another level almost, and it really fits Shadows and the atmosphere so well. So he comes in here at the number 7 spot. Definitely one of the best characters.
How'd a sweet little place like this come to get buried underground?
Coming in at the number 6 spot is going to be Russman. Now, this is my personal list, and I think Russman is the most unique character when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies in the Victus crew area. Obviously he worked for Broken Arrow, so there's a lot of different aspects there that make him unique, but also the interaction with the other characters and him kind of forgetting a lot of things makes it very, very interesting. And I think that Rustman is kind of one of the most mysterious characters that we've ever gotten in Call of Duty Zombies. I just like a lot of his quotes. They're kind of funny and enjoyable. So I just think Rustman is like always one of my favorite characters to play whenever I'm playing a Victus map. Most of the time it's Buried because that's my favorite Victus map, obviously. But he also has some pretty good quotes on Tag and everything like that. So definitely one of my favorite characters, and he comes in here at the number 6 spot.
I'm invincible. I can't be vinced. I'm invincible. Who's trying to vince me? Is vincible even a thing?
All right, guys, coming in at the number 5 spot is going to be Nero Blackstone. Nero, obviously voiced by Jeff Goldblum, is an absolutely amazing character. He is by far one of the wackiest and most unique characters, to be rivaled honestly with Richtofen. He's like up there in the elite of the elite characters, and he has some insanely good quotes, and he is just so comical in a way that I really think is pretty much unmatched. I love all his quotes. He's definitely my favorite person to play as whenever I'm playing Shadows, and he had to be high up on the list. So he comes in at the number 5 spot. Honestly, that might even be a little bit too high. He could possibly be lower, like top 3, but the other characters left to go are also insanely good. So he comes in here at the number 5 spot.
Nikolai. Why do I keep hearing that name?
All right, guys, coming in at the number 4 spot is the first of the Mob of the Dead characters, and that is Al Arlington. He is kind of the guy who created the plans to escape Alcatraz, and Albert Arlington has so many unique quotes about him, making a comic book when he was like in the hospital, and man, there is so much depth to this character overall that really you have to listen to just all the quotes that he has, because every single time he's talking it's so interesting and so unique. And I feel like that's what makes Mob of the Dead so good, is just the characters in general. But the Weasel is definitely super awesome and super unique, and he comes in here at the number 4 spot.
Forgive one's enemies, but never, ever forget their name.
Rest in peace, JFK. He comes in here at the number 3 spot. JFK, one of the most iconic American presidents of all time that was eventually assassinated, is really, really interesting to have as a character in Call of Duty Zombies. I think that he definitely is very interesting. A lot of his quotes revolve around like Boston, because that's where he's from, and it's also where I'm from, so it kind of hits home as well with a lot of the quotes that he says are things that I hear on a pretty much regular basis, a lot of his quotes. And I just think it was really, really cool to have a president as a Zombies like character that you can play as. I think that was really, really cool, and JFK just has so many great quotes that it's really hard to just narrow it down to one, but he comes in here at the number 3 spot.
There's layers to this shit. It's like peeling back an onion or some fucker's face.
Coming in at the number 2 spot is Billy Handsome, the most badass character in all of Call of Duty Zombies history. Even more badass in my opinion than Dempsey. This guy is so like insane. Like all his quotes, just he's swearing like a sailor, and it makes him really, really interesting and badass. I know in like the timeline it said he killed like over 99 people or something like that, which is just absolutely insane. Maybe it was 106, it's one or the other, but he obviously, you know, did a lot of dirty work for the mob, and he is such a interesting character as well. His quotes are just so good. Every single time I play as Billy, I literally feel like I'm gonna get demonetized just playing the map. It's so interesting, man. I love Billy so much, and he comes in here at the number 2 spot. All right, guys, now it's the honorable mentions. The first one is Samantha Maxis, when you can switch bodies with her on Moon and play as her. her voice is one of the most annoying things of all time when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies. I actually hate her voice, but it's still really interesting to play as Samantha in Richtofen's body. Next up is Danny Trejo, obviously an absolute badass on Call of the Dead, and I think that he had some really good quotes as well, and I think Danny Trejo is just one of my favorite actors as well, so he definitely fit and it worked out great. And last but not least, guys, the last and final honorable mention is going to be Scarlet from the Chaos crew. I think Scarlet is really unique. Obviously, she complains a shit ton on Voyage of Despair and 9, which really makes me dislike her the most, but I kind of feel bad for her considering her dad basically left her and she has daddy issues, which seems to be a common theme for pretty much every female character in Call of Duty Zombies history. But I think Scarlet grew on me a lot. She's kind of one of my favorite characters towards the end, but at first I absolutely despised her. Her annoying, like, ranting about her father and complaining constantly is really, really annoying sometimes.
Ain't that swell?
All right, guys, coming in at the number 1 spot is Sal DeLuca from Mob of the Dead. I know there's a lot of Mob of the Dead characters that are high up on this list, and it has nothing to do with it being my favorite map, but the characters are just so good. They have such a good storyline background, and all their quotes are just so sick and awesome and interesting, and that's what makes characters so iconic and great, and that's why they had to be so high up on the list. Sal DeLuca obviously being kind of like the mob boss and the guy kind of in charge when it comes to Mob of the Dead and like his direction and everything like that. I just love all his quotes. They're so interesting. That time period is so cool, and he definitely is my favorite character when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies history as a whole. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the top 10 best characters excluding the original 4. Did you guys agree? Did you disagree? Let me know, and also let me know which cutscene is your favorite in Call of Duty Zombies history, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.